There's an old saying that necessity is the mother of invention. In modern times, we can say that an impetus and crisis led to innovation because that's what we have been observing lately. Such as the need to transport people and goods from one place to another led to the creation of the wheel, but the impetus to improvise further led to vehicles development. Similarly, during the Industrial Revolution, shift work prompted the harnessing of electricity. So, invention and innovation go hand in hand, but it all becomes too difficult in times like these when the world is facing a unique situation. Hi, welcome to the Wealthlab, and thanks for checking in. Business models that were deemed reliable and fruitful just a year back aren't relevant anymore. Despite highly advanced travel and transport infrastructure, people cannot afford to go out of their homes unless it is an emergency or something vital. Workplaces have now become obsolete because work from home is the new normal. Physical assets matter less and digital assets matter the most, such as the way of life in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Honestly, it's been a whirlwind year for everyone in the world. However, it's also when we have seen a sharp rise in an unorthodox and out-of-the-box innovation. Though it has been a challenging year for organizations dealing with the COVID-19-led crisis, this year ignited many unconventional innovations. You might say that what's so different about it, as innovation has been part and parcel of the modernization process all along. We would still say that innovation during COVID is unique because the processes and goals are different from their pre-COVID counterparts. We have to admit that dealing with a crisis isn't something novel for businesses. Organizations have historically faced and overcome many different types of challenges by introducing risk mitigation processes and technologies to address the situation. In the current scenario, however, it's a whole new world altogether. Even something as ordinary as taking a stroll down the road is perceived differently today. So in this pandemic, business practices, technologies, and strategies to improve customer employee safety by mitigating contagion risk have become of utmost importance. Enjoying the video? Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks! Businesses respond to the pandemic by increasing risk perception as consumers today are willing to pay for safety features. This offered producers a greater incentive to develop and commercialize technologies to fulfill consumers' demand for safety. While striving to achieve this, businesses have an opportunity to reassess their options, invest in new and shelf technologies, and design products that can effectively mitigate risk and improve safety. Manufacturers have always proven that ingenuity can yield innovative outcomes when facing a challenging situation, and the current crisis is no exception. We have observed in the past that companies become profitable when they grow and when they contract. They see a decline in productivity and profitability. So, we can say that flexibility is the key to profitability. Presently, more than profitability, it is about sustainability, survival, and innovation. Flexibility and diversification were never as relevant as it has become now. For example, drones were previously used specifically for tracking and monitoring purposes. But given the innovation spree that organizations are currently on all over the world, these AI-enabled devices are used to disinfect homes. Yes, that's right. Digital Aerialus is the manufacturer of some of the most advanced drones in the world. But given the need of the hour, even it had no other choice to innovate and equip their industrial drones with UVC lights to clean households and healthcare facilities of germs and bacteria. Similarly, given the need to maintain social distancing, JD.com, China's largest online retailer, decided to utilize autonomous robot vehicles for delivering food, medicine, and other supplies in a pandemic epicenter Wuhan. Over a 3-day period, JD.com managed to deliver more than 100 million masks around the city. This way, the company could stay afloat amidst such strong tides where so many other firms were struggling and addressed previous last-mile issues with autonomous vehicles. Another interesting example of how companies are innovating according to the needs of such a unique era is the TempTrack wireless wearable temperature monitoring device. Hospitals and healthcare facilities have to constantly check for visitor temperatures, making their staff vulnerable to contracting the virus. This tiny device allows them to monitor fever remotely without any direct contact with the patient. It's a great invention because it lessens the risk associated with shared oral thermometers apart from alleviating staff strain. Stratasys uses 3D printing technology very innovatively by creating safety products like face masks for medical professionals with a clear plastic shield covering the face thoroughly. It is given an initial goal of producing 5,000 units by the end of March, which is a huge deal in a crisis like this. Hence, it is safe to assume that any company that can provide a faster production rate can do remarkably well. Enjoying the video? Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks! Now there are self-check processes in place at grocery stores and retail outlets. Now shoppers can enter a store like before without any barriers. They can fill their physical carts and update their virtual carts along the way. After they are done shopping, they can exit the store. They will be charged for the items in their virtual cart as per the pre-selected payment methods. Isn't it a revolutionary new way to do grocery shopping? No need to stand in a queue waiting for your turn at the cashier. You don't even need to unload the items onto a conveyor belt, just grab and go. So manufacturers are trying their best to automate most of their operations and embed safety features in their products. Before the pandemic, most innovation-oriented initiatives were aimed either at increasing profits, fending off competitors, or both. The COVID crisis has prompted many organizations to set resilience as their new innovation target. The pandemic has helped leaders realize the risk of enterprise inertia. In a unique era like this one, innovation has become a cornerstone of organizational resiliency. It drives an organization's ability to rapidly shift in response to evolving consumer needs and unexpected events. Such as gyms that didn't offer outdoor fitness classes are now forced to offer them. Movie theaters are being rented out to entire households rather than selling individual tickets. Automakers have retooled their assembly lines to create ventilators. Clothing brands are making face masks. So resilience-driven innovation has become a lot more critical now, and we are truly enjoying this current scenario. However, it is essential to remember that resilience-oriented innovation doesn't just mean upgrading the user interface or making processes faster. It is about developing flexible enough service lines and processes to handle society-wide disruptions. Today's age is for first movers. It gives you a significant advantage over your competitors. Ever wondered why Amazon is atop the e-com ladder? It's because it was the first online bookstore. Similarly, eBay is influential today because it was the first online auction site when it started operations in 1995. Today, first mover will benefit the most from this unexpected and unpredictable situation. But let's not forget that even in an era that demands innovative initiatives, quality is still more relevant than speed. It could be the quality of product or experience, but whatever goods or services you offer, it has to be of superior quality. Moreover, the innovation has to remain exclusive. Curbside pickup is an excellent example in this context. Every in-store retailer and restaurant under the sun implemented at the start of the pandemic, but now it has become commonplace, and consumers can choose where to go and which company offers the best curbside service. So it isn't exclusive anymore. Whoever did it first, although reaped the benefits, but it is the quality of experience that mattered in the long run. We can say that the crisis reminded business owners and organizations about the importance of pivots. Despite their significance, firms rarely got them right. Research reveals that only 6% of companies have conducted a wise pivot, which reduces costs, scraps unproductive assets, and transforms their core business profitably. The problem wasn't the companies couldn't change, but they didn't plan for it. Now they have started to. Marketers are designing billboards that can be reused as banner ads in case new lockdowns force consumers back indoors. Executives opt to rent instead of purchasing company cars to mitigate the risk associated with travel restrictions that renders the vehicles useless. So it can be assumed that businesses used to take a narrow view of innovation. The biggest silver lining of COVID-19 is that it is helping them see it differently in many new ways. With that being said, see you in the next video.